Ever feel like you're stuck on that career treadmill, just going through the motions,
Hmm.
but not really getting anywhere?
Yeah.
Well, today we're going on a deep dive into finding work that actually like lights your fire,
Okay.
even in this crazy modern job market where pensions are practically extinct
Right.
and unions aren't what they used to be.
Hmm.
So we've got two sources to kind of help us out here. A
Okay.
really thought-provoking quote about career growth, and then the description of a book. It's called Your Career, Your Rules, Living the Life You Want.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how they connect, and more importantly, what nuggets of wisdom we can extract for you.
Sounds good.
So the quote that caught my eye, it says, "Every expert was once a beginner. Keep learning, keep growing. Your journey is unique, and your effort will pay off."
Mm.
It sounds simple,
Yeah.
almost like something you'd find on like a motivational poster,
Right.
but there's a real depth to it when you think about it in the context of today's careers.
Yeah, it really highlights the shift from the old days where companies basically laid out your entire career path for you.
Right.
Now you're the architect of your own journey,
Yeah.
which means continuous learning isn't just a nice to have, it's essential.
Yeah.
It's essential for staying relevant
Yeah.
and carving out a fulfilling career path.
It's almost like we're all entrepreneurs now.
Yeah.
Even if we have like a traditional 9 to 5 job, we have to invest in ourselves
Absolutely.
and build our own career capital, so to speak.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And this is where our second source, the book, Your Career, Your Rules,
Okay.
comes into play, just from the description.
Yeah.
It seems to be a guide for exactly this kind of self-directed career journey.
The book description really zeroes in on the idea of discovering your passion and making that the driving force behind your career choices.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like you were just going through the motions at work, not really connecting with anything meaningful? This book seems to be all about breaking free from that trap.
It's not just about finding any job. It's about aligning your work with what truly energizes you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the book actually lays out specific exercises or frameworks to help people uncover those passions. Sometimes it's not as simple as just saying, follow your bliss.
Yeah, right. I'm curious about that too. It does say it focuses on helping you discover what you're passionate about and how to utilize that passion in your career.
Okay.
So it sounds like it goes beyond just like dreaming about your ideal job and provides concrete steps to turn those passions into actual marketable skills.
It's interesting that they also emphasize finding careers that work for you as well as your employer. It's acknowledging that you have to bring something valuable to the table,
Right.
not just expect a company to cater to your own personal fulfillment,
Yeah.
especially in today's competitive job market.
Yeah,
It's all about finding that win-win.
totally. You can't just waltz into an interview and say, hire me, I'm passionate.
Right.
You have to show how your passions translate into skills and contributions that benefit the company. But how do you bridge that gap? Does the book offer any concrete advice on that?
It does mention providing tips to make your journey easier, but it's pretty vague.
Right.
If I were writing this book, I'd definitely include some modern-day examples, especially given how much the job market has changed since 2017
Oh, yeah.
when this book was published.
Wow. Yeah.
Think of the rise of remote work and the gig economy. Those were barely on the radar back then.
Good point. The world of work has undergone a seismic shift in just the past few years. So even though the book has a positive customer review, I'm wondering how much of the advice still holds up in today's landscape.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the fundamentals like self-discovery and skill development are probably timeless, but certain tactics might need a serious update.
Okay.
For instance, if the book talks about networking, it probably focuses on traditional methods like attending industry events. But today, online communities and platforms like LinkedIn play a huge role in building professional connections.
Right. You practically need a digital strategy for your career these days. But even before we dive into the specifics of how to navigate this new world of work, I think it's worth taking a moment to really understand why it's so important to find work that aligns with your passions. Is it just about being happy, or is there a deeper benefit to it?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think it goes beyond just personal happiness. When you're passionate about your work, you're more likely to be engaged, productive, and innovative.
Yeah.
You're not just clocking in and out, you're actually contributing something meaningful,
Right.
both to your own life and to the world around you.
And in a world that's facing so many complex challenges, we need people who are truly invested in their work.
Yeah.
People who are driven by something more than just a paycheck. So how do we tap into that inner drive? How do we uncover those passions that might be buried beneath years of societal conditioning or simply the daily grind of survival?
That's where this whole idea of discovering your passion gets really interesting. It's not always a straightforward process. It requires some soul searching, some experimentation, and sometimes even a willingness to challenge your own assumptions about what work should look like.
So we're talking about rediscovering that spark, that inner drive that maybe got a little lost along the way.
Hmm.
But how do you actually do that?
Right.
Does your career, your rules, offer any practical advice for excavating those buried passions?
Well, remember those tips to make your journey easier
Oh.
that we talked about.
Yeah.
It's time to put on our detective hats
Okay.
and see if we can decipher what those tips might be.
Okay.
Even though we don't have the exact words from the book,
Right.
we can make some educated guesses
Yeah.
based on what we know about career development and what seems to be the book's main message
Okay.
of self-reliance.
Okay, let's play career detective.
Right.
If we were writing your career, your rules today, what kind of practical advice would we give someone who's feeling lost and unfulfilled in their current job?
The first thing that comes to mind is a thorough self-assessment,
Okay.
not just focusing on your passions,
Mm.
but taking stock
Mm-hmm.
of your existing skills, your personality, your preferred work style,
Okay.
all those things that make you you.
Almost like creating a personal career inventory.
Yeah.
What are you naturally good at?
Right?
What kind of tasks make you lose track of time and
Mhm.
which ones make you want to run for the hills?
Exactly.
It's about getting to know yourself on a deeper level
Yeah.
beyond just what you put on your resume.
Exactly. And once you have that self-knowledge,
Okay.
the next step is to connect it to the real world.
Okay.
Start researching industries, roles, even specific companies
Yeah.
that seem like they might be a good fit for your unique skill set and personality.
It's not just about what you want to do, but also about the kind of environment you thrive in.
Right.
Do you prefer the fast-paced energy of a startup or the stability of a larger corporation? Are you a team player or a lone wolf?
Right.
All of these factors can make a huge difference in your long-term job satisfaction.
I bet the book also talks about the importance of networking and building relationships.
Oh, for sure.
Even in today's digital world,
Yeah.
personal connections are still crucial for career advancement.
It's funny how that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, is still relevant today.
It is.
But it's more than just collecting business cards or adding people on LinkedIn.
Right.
It's about building genuine connections and finding ways to support each other.
Absolutely. And those connections can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
Industry events, online communities,
Mm-hmm.
even just reaching out to someone you admire
Yeah.
for an informational interview.
Yeah.
You never know where a simple conversation might lead.
Speaking of connections, I think a strong online presence is crucial these days.
Well, absolutely.
A well-crafted LinkedIn profile is a must-have.
Yes.
And maybe even a personal website to showcase your work and expertise.
Your online presence is often the first impression you make.
Right.
So it's important to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
It's your chance to tell your story, highlight your skills, and demonstrate your value
Mm-hmm.
to potential employers or collaborators.
And speaking of skills, the book has to touch on the need for continuous learning.
Oh, yeah.
Taking courses, attending workshops,
Mhm.
even pursuing certifications to stay ahead of the curve in your field.
Couldn't agree more.
Right.
In the past, you might have learned a trade and stuck with it for your entire career.
Right.
But now, every field is evolving at warp speed thanks to technology and globalization.
It is, yeah.
If you're not constantly learning and adapting, you'll quickly become obsolete.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It's like the old career ladder has been replaced with a climbing wall.
Right.
You're constantly reaching for the next hold,
Yeah.
adjusting your grip,
Yeah.
and adapting your route as you go.
Exactly.
And just like a climber needs the right gear,
Yeah.
a modern career seeker needs a set of tools.
A strong resume and cover letter,
Yes.
interview skills, and the ability to negotiate a salary that reflects your worth.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
A compelling resume and cover letter are still essential for getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the book emphasizes the importance of tailoring those documents to each specific opportunity, highlighting the skills and experiences
Right.
that are most relevant to the role you're applying for.
And let's not forget interview practice.
Yes.
Being able to articulate your value proposition clearly and confidently is make or break in any job search.
It is.
I'm sure the book offers some tips on handling those tricky behavioral questions like, tell me about a time you failed.
Right.
Those can really throw you off if you're not prepared.
I bet it also delves into the art of salary negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important to know your worth and advocate for yourself.
For sure.
But it can be a really intimidating conversation.
It can be, yeah. Hopefully the book provides some strategies for approaching those discussions with confidence and professionalism.
We've covered a lot of practical ground here.
Yeah.
From self-assessment and skills development to networking and salary negotiation. But there's one crucial piece of the puzzle that we haven't talked about yet. Mindset.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
A positive and resilient mindset is essential for navigating the inevitable ups and downs of any career journey.
Yeah.
Rejections happen, setbacks occur.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to dust yourself off and keep going.
Right.
The book probably stresses the importance of staying motivated even when things get tough.
It makes me think about the concept of grit.
Yeah.
That ability to persevere in the face of challenges.
Absolutely.
Do you think the book offers any specific advice on how to cultivate that kind of resilience?
Perhaps it talks about reframing setbacks as learning opportunities.
Okay.
Or finding ways to stay connected to your bigger goals even when you're feeling discouraged. And I wouldn't be surprised if it touches on the importance of self-care and maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Right.
Because what's the point of achieving all your career goals if you're burned out and miserable along the way?
That's so true.
Yeah.
We can't sacrifice our well-being in the pursuit of success.
Right.
It's all about finding that balance, that sweet spot where we can thrive both personally and professionally.
Absolutely.
But before we get too philosophical here, let's bring it back to the book for a moment.
Okay.
Remember, your career, your rules, was published back in 2017.
Right.
How much of this advice do you think still holds up in today's rapidly evolving job market?
That's a great question, and one that deserves some careful consideration.
Yeah.
While the core principles of self-discovery, skill development, and networking remain timeless, some of the specific tactics outlined in the book might need a bit of a refresh
Okay.
to align with the realities of the modern workplace.
Like what, for example? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. So we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Does your career, your rules, truly offer timeless advice, or does it need like a 2024 makeover?
Well, let's think about it.
Okay.
The way we network and build relationships has been completely transformed
Oh, yeah.
by social media and online platforms.
It has.
It's not just about attending those stuffy industry events anymore.
Right. Now we have LinkedIn, professional online communities, virtual networking events.
Yeah.
You can practically build a global network from your couch.
Exactly. And the way we showcase our skills and experience has evolved too.
Yeah.
Just having a traditional resume might not cut it anymore.
So it's not enough to just have the skills.
Right.
You have to be able to show them.
Yeah.
Maybe that means building a killer online portfolio.
Yeah.
Or even creating content that demonstrates your expertise.
Right.
It's all about being visible and marketing yourself in a digital world.
Precisely. And let's not forget about the rise of remote work and the gig economy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The traditional career path, where you climb the corporate ladder at one company,
Right.
is becoming less and less common.
It's almost like the career ladder has been replaced with a jungle gym.
Yeah.
You're climbing, swinging,
Right.
and leaping between different projects and opportunities, constantly adapting and learning new skills along the way.
I love that analogy. It really captures the fluidity and dynamism of the modern workplace.
Yeah.
And it brings up another crucial point: the impact of automation and artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
Jobs that were once considered safe
Right.
are now being automated, while new roles are emerging that require a completely different set of skills.
So it's not just about acquiring new skills. It's about cultivating a mindset of continuous learning and adaptability.
Absolutely.
Being comfortable with change and uncertainty is crucial for navigating this constantly evolving landscape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that brings us to a really important question.
Yeah.
How do we as individuals not just survive but thrive in this environment? It can feel pretty overwhelming, to be honest.
It does. It's like the old playbook has been thrown out the window.
Right.
But maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this disruption is an opportunity to rewrite the rules,
I agree.
to create careers that are more aligned with our individual values and passions.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
While this era of rapid change can feel unsettling,
Yeah.
it also presents a tremendous opportunity
Okay.
for those who are willing to embrace it and take ownership of their career journey.
So where do we even begin?
Yeah.
What are some concrete steps we can take to future-proof ourselves and make sure we're not left behind as the world of work transforms around us?
First and foremost,
Yeah.
cultivate that mindset of continuous learning we were
Mm.
talking about.
Yeah.
The days of learning one skill and coasting on it until retirement are long gone.
Right.
We need to become lifelong learners,
Okay.
constantly updating our skills,
Okay.
exploring new fields,
Yeah.
and adapting to the changing demands of the market.
And that means being proactive. Don't wait for your employer to provide training or development opportunities.
Right.
Take the initiative to identify the skills that are in demand
Absolutely.
and seek out resources to learn them on your own.
Exactly. And there's so many options available these days.
Yeah.
Many of them free or very affordable.
There are.
Online courses, workshops, boot camps, even just good old-fashioned books and articles.
And let's not forget about the power of mentorship.
Yes.
Finding someone who is already successful in your field can provide invaluable guidance, support, and even open doors to new opportunities.
It's like having a personal Sherpa
Yeah.
to guide you through the sometimes treacherous terrain of the modern career landscape.
Speaking of treacherous terrain, I think it's also crucial to develop resilience.
Yes.
Rejections, layoffs, unexpected changes in the market.
Mhm.
These are all par for the course in today's world.
It's not about avoiding these challenges,
Okay.
but about developing the mindset and the skills to bounce back from them. It's about seeing setbacks as temporary detours, not dead ends.
So it's about building our emotional intelligence, learning how to manage stress,
Absolutely.
and cultivating a growth mindset that sees failure as an opportunity for learning and growth.
Exactly. And I think it's also about diversifying our skill set.
Okay.
The more tools we have in our toolbox,
Yeah.
the more adaptable we'll be to changing market demands.
Yeah.
It's like the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That makes sense. So instead of hyper-specializing in one narrow area,
Right.
we should aim to develop a broader range of skills, both technical and those all-important soft skills like communication, collaboration, and problem solving.
Those soft skills are becoming increasingly valuable in today's workplace,
Yeah.
where teamwork, adaptability, and creative problem solving are essential for success.
And let's not forget the importance of building relationships and nurturing our networks.
Absolutely.
In a world that's becoming increasingly digital, genuine human connection is more valuable than ever.
It's about building a community of support, of people who understand our journey and can offer guidance, encouragement, and even open doors to new possibilities.
It strikes me that it's not just about what we can get from others,
Right.
but also what we can give.
Yeah.
Sharing our knowledge, supporting others in their journey, and contributing to our communities are all ways to build meaningful connections
Absolutely.
and create a more fulfilling career experience.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Mm-hmm.
where our passions, our skills,
Right.
and our values intersect
Yeah.
with the needs of the market and the well-being of ourselves and our communities.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From uncovering hidden passions and building essential skills to embracing a mindset of continuous learning and adaptability.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's up to each individual to create their own definition of success and chart their own course through the ever-evolving landscape of the modern workplace.
And while there's no one-size-fits-all formula, I think we can safely say that the future belongs to those who are adaptable, resilient, and committed to lifelong learning.
Yeah.
Those who are willing to embrace change, step outside of their comfort zones,
Yeah.
and create a career that is both personally fulfilling and contributes to the world around them.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into navigating the modern career landscape, I'm curious to hear from you.
Yes?
What resonated with you most from our conversation?
Mm-hmm.
What are you inspired to do differently in your own career journey?
We'd love to hear your thoughts, reflections, and even your own tips for navigating this ever-changing world of work.
And if you're looking for a starting point, be sure to check out Your Career, Your Rules, Living the Life You Want.
Yes.
It might have been published back in 2017, but the core message of self-discovery and taking ownership of your career journey is truly timeless.
It's a great resource for anyone who's feeling stuck unfulfilled or simply curious about creating a career that aligns with their passions and values.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep creating the career of your dreams.
Stay inspired with weekly podcasts. Subscribe to the Tech Upskill YouTube channel for exclusive weekly podcasts on trending tech skills, career tips, and expert insights. Don't miss the chance to learn, grow, and upskill. Hit the subscribe button now. Let's make learning a part of your weekly routine.